with Michael Schwob, one of the best servers for this Penn State team. The starting setter has traded time between him and Jackson Herr this season, but the 3-year Nittany Lion gets started. It'll be a service error to tie it at 1.
First of many, men's volleyball, ladies and gentlemen.
How many times have we mentioned that? Too many, I think.
I think upwards the amount of games that we combined have called, there have to be over 200 service errors.
Yeah, I think we saw one set we had where one team had no service errors, and that was a rarity.
I almost cried. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Opposite Aiden Welton serving for the Patriots. And Matt Luoma goes cross court, beat the back line of the outside in Evangelista, and Penn State back out in front.
He had line wide open on that shot, but he took the rip, decided to go over top of the block, make Evangelista play some defense. Going over his head, wasn't able to get his hands there strong enough to pop that ball up.
Which is a bit unorthodox from Matt Luoma because he's a guy that so often goes for the hot hands. And going cross court is number 13, Jackson Herbert. Not able to get it down, though, so the first attack error puts Penn State up 2.
That is a really close call. I like that swing by Herbert. That's down the line, aiming for just that last second tag, just misses.
Serving for Penn State is Sean Harvey, was looking for the soft spot. And out of the middle is the middle blocker, the senior, in Elijah Lazar, the PA native, cuts the lead to 1.
That is a great swing by Lazar. He gets up, he elevates, he sees that he has a big block right in front of him, so he cuts just to the left of the block, coffin corner swing.
Serving that time is Herbert. And out of the back row is Sean Harvey, who it doesn't seem like he can come any more alive, but he's been averaging 20 points per game the last 5 games in Penn State's road trips to Charleston and Sacred Heart. A tremendous performance down the stretch.
I have been loving that play by Schwob because he recognizes that George Mason's middle is going to jump with Penn State's middle, so he decides to run Harvey behind. Nobody's going to be guessing it.
Penn State with the dig, a joust at the net, and it's won by Bennett Wilson. One of the outside hitters for Penn State and someone that has really proven how much depth is in that hitting room for Mark Pavlik's squad.
We've only recently seen him come alive and onto the court more consistently, but I love the IQ that he brings, the fact that he was able to recognize that, you know what, it's probably not best if I full go swing at this ball. I'm just going to use the block to my advantage, get the kill.
Great court IQ. On the opposite end, it's a kill for the Patriots. And it is Aiden Welton going out of the middle that time.
A lot of heat coming out of that back row attack by Welton. The acceleration that he was able to have and just ultimately be super terminal with that swing.
Aiden Welton, just one of 3 players in the EIVA with 300 or more kills. The other 2 being Sean Harvey and Victor Novak of NJIT. Great defense from Mason, but the attempted free ball, no-look free ball from Lazar goes out of play.
Also, another great swing by Wilson. That is a really nice 4-to-4 shot. As an outside, you want to make the other outside play some off-block defense. Looked like George Mason wasn't going to get there, ultimately did. Results in a no-look missed free ball. Happens to the best of us, but great shot by Wilson.
Sometimes it's not all about the power. It's about the ability to maneuver the block. And speaking of getting through the block is Robert Evangelista, the junior out of Rochester, New York, getting on the board for the Patriots.
Look at you speaking that into existence. That's a great swing. It's a lot of those little shoddy plays are going to be the thing that ultimately get you the kills.
Coming off of a season high of 19 kills in that second game against Princeton. Mason won that one in 5. Service error from the setter, Zaharev. Gives Penn State a 3-point lead here early in set 1.
These are the points that matter. At this point, if you're George Mason, you are trying to climb your way back up to this, even it out a little bit, because 3 points is a pretty big deficit when you're this early in the match.
Yeah, we've seen time and time again in EIVA play and beyond where the early points almost paradoxically seem to decide the set. Schwob is straight up for Luoma, and he finds the back line.
It's a great back row D ball by Matt Luoma. I love the acceleration. Again, you're going to hear me drop that word a lot when you see back row attacks, but I love the fact that he was able to also tag that deep corner.
Matt Luoma, his 2nd kill of the night. 10 or more for him in 3 of the last 4 games. The opposite from Phoenix. Guiding for Welton and the roof from Gage Gabriel. First time we've called his name tonight.
That is an incredible setup. I just love the discipline and the chemistry between Schwob and Gabriel on blocking. It is undeniable. Some great movement right there. Such a simple move, pressed over. There's just no hope.
3-0 run for Penn State, and really speaking to the versatility that Michael Schwob brings to the table for Penn State. Wilson looking back line, won't get it, so Mason cuts it to 4 off the error. But again, back to that block, Gage Gabriel and then Michael Schwob being higher than the hitter. Perfect setup, as you said, able to get the block done.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting pressed over as early as you possibly can and just not showing daylight between your arms.
Schwob goes back to Luoma. That time the Mason defense is ready. Herbert plays it over the block. Merck with the save. Harvey trying to go over the triple roof. It was blocked back by Welton. Back to Luoma, and that time he's rejected. And leading the way is one of the best blockers in the nation, the sophomore, Alexander Lilly.
What a lovely little triple block situation we've got going on there. That is awesome. That's the first time we've seen that tonight. I guarantee you we're going to see it a couple more times, both on the George Mason and Penn State side.
Lilly, an EIVA first teamer, was second in the nation last year in solo blocks. Currently leads the EIVA in hitting percentage, nearing the last week of the regular season and hitting .391.
You know what? It really only matters what you do at the end of the season. Yeah, it kind of matters what you do to get there in the first place, but how you close out is how you're going to be going into the postseason. What both of these teams are doing right now is fighting for a spot to make the NCAA tournament too.
These games are when all the chips are truly on the table. And a plop down block, triple block led by Owen Rose.
Little soft block touch there. Wasn't necessarily the most pressed. It hit the hands and the fingertips and just softly goes back. Do you think that's talking about what we're going to do tonight? Maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't have a crystal ball, but I'd be willing to say it's more likely than usual. Overpass from Gabriel and a big swing from Sean Harvey. Eyes got wide and he delivered.
Sean Harvey on the board now. That is a great swing. Again, that overpass is just so essential for shutting down confidence if you're Penn State. There is nothing more demoralizing than getting a ball swung right back at your face after you overpass it.
Talked about Lilly being the leader in the EIVA in hitting percentage. Sean Harvey is second in the conference in that department. And Jay Hostek immediately wants a carry on that play from Harvey.
We're looking at a little bit of arguments. Nope. Air is charged here in Rec Hall.
Oh, yeah. We said it was a celebration at the start. There's still a game to play, Caroline.
Right. Of course.
As Mark Pavlik would have wanted it, though. And Gage Gabriel commits the service error. So a 6-point lead for the Nittany Lions and ends a 4-0 run for the blue and white.
George Mason just has to take those points and say thank you for them. If you're in this much of a deficit, again, right now it's 6 points, you got to take what you can get.
Wilson jumped in front of Merck for the receive. Doesn't matter, though. Matt Luoma goes down the line that time and gets the kill.
Batting 1,000 off of that D ball in the back row. He went right in between the two blockers and then right between the two defenders in 5 and 6. That is a great swing. Nobody is there to defend that ball.
Penn State second in the EIVA in hitting percentage, hitting .271. They are first in the conference, 10th in the nation in opponent hitting percentage. That being .211, Schwob commits the error.
Not a ton of service errors so far this match. We are seeing some really, really great blocks and a lot of great kills, but you know what? I am happy that I haven't had to say service error that much.
Well, the night's still young.
I probably just jinxed us.
Harvey going near pin, and he beats the libero Nardoni that time. So Sean Harvey leads both sides with 4 kills to his name.
Nardoni just not able to move his feet in time to go pick up that ball. It was just in front of him and not the hardest hit in the entire world. Just wasn't able to read that he was going soft shot.
Yeah, both teams have been laying off the speedometers to start, but it's been effective for Penn State.
If it works, don't fix it.
Here comes Luoma over the triple block. He's backed up by Kins. And a pancake from Zaharev, unsuccessful. Right back to what we were saying.
But that is a really, really great pickup by Kins. I love that play. Just ultimately nobody there to pick up that second ball and recycle.
Yeah, and Coach Jay Hostek's been showering his liberos in praise, saying because they have two of them, you're not going to get the national recognition of the one guy, but their impacts in the game have been paramount. Free ball from Mason. Schrob going up to the back row with Sean Harvey. And the Penn State back row attack is clicking. They're hitting 846 to Mason's 091, and another timeout from the Patriots.
I, again, am loving these back row attacks. It just seems like George Mason didn't scout Penn State to be doing that. I think they expected them to be running their middles a bit more. We have not seen a ton of that. But again, back row attack has been super prevalent.
3-0 run for Penn State. We'll step aside. You're watching EIVA Volleyball on Big Ten Plus. Mark Pavlik has oversaw 27 EIVA regular season titles at his time at the helm of Penn State, and that time it's a violation against the Nittany Lions that Mason will gladly take.
A lucky break. Nobody was ready to set that second ball. However, Welton was able to just get his feet there, tip right over the block, ultimately worked out in his favor because Penn State right in the net.
Serving is the outside and Jackson Herbert. It's for junior, and that being a serving violation.
I don't think I've heard rec call this loud in a really, really, really long time.
Yeah, they're the fan support from whether it's the people in attendance, the alumni.
You've got women's volleyball team here. You've got every single men's player in history here.
Probably.
Old coaches, head coaches of other sports at Penn State.
Well, it makes sense because the sport of men's volleyball is just basically 6 degrees of Mark Pavlik at this point.
Truly.
It really is. I think everyone we've talked to has had some Pav story, some assistant, some connection. Like right now, a former Penn State assistant on the other side in Jay Hossack. Schrob up for Gabriel. Great dig from the Mason defense. That was Evangelista getting a paw up on it. Wilson through the triple block, and he got it. Penn State's up 9 in set 1.
Jack, do you know how hard it is to thread a ball to the 4 zone through a triple block?
It looked impressive.
That is really, really hard, and Wilson is doing such a great job stepping into this role that Pavlik has given him. I love that shot.
He's hit over 350 in 3 of the last 6 matches. He's really blossomed in his opportunity as a starter. Net joust on the Penn State side. Here comes Wilson. That time he gets roofed. And Evangelista returns the favor.
Evangelista is able to drop his outside hand, and just press that sharp 4 shot. That Bennett Wilson was going for. Super terminal.
Robert Evangelista, 256 kills, 40 blocks, 113 digs. Mason has so many players that can truly do it all.
When you have a multifaceted team like that, it's no wonder that you're second in the EIVA and nationally ranked.
Dropping serve from Zaharev. Wilson again, and he is not fazed by that triple block. Nittany Lions first to 20.
Not even a touch on the block. He is just having that vision to be able to thread the ball through that tiniest bit of space. Also, Gabriel with the assist. We're going back to versatility. If you have your middles that can set a good killable ball, you're doing something right.
We've seen some tremendous talent come through Rec Hall this season. When you see the best of the best, it's utilizing the block, but maneuvering the players in the block. But a swing from Alexander Lilly, the block out of play. So Mason gets 1 back, cuts it to 8.
Putting Lilly on the board, coming out of the middle and using the block to his advantage. Again, we have said this countless times tonight, and we're going to continue to do so, but I do like that swing because he's not hitting right into the block. It's just with enough angle to tool it out of bounds.
Mark Pavlik talked about Alexander Lilly being a player that lines up so well. That's what has made him one of the best blockers in the country. Engage Gabriel balloons the lead back to 9.
Middle on middle crime here. We have Gage Gabriel coming in with just so much heat that he hits the floor, which is something you usually don't see after hitting. There you go. Like it never happened.
Top 7 in the EIVA in blocks. He's had 12 games this season where he's hit above 400. And getting the touches, Jackson Herbert, the junior out of Ashburn, Virginia, coming over from Briarwoods High School. And if you're a Penn State fan, you might recognize that high school, alma mater, Trace McSorley.
No way.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So many things. So many Penn State things literally everywhere.
You're probably humming the song in your head that he was just a kid from Briarwoods.
No way. I just put 2 and 2 together. That's awesome.
And who's putting 2 and 2 together is number 12 and Sean Harvey.
He has had absolutely no problem doing that all season. He loves that coffin corner, and I've mentioned it before, but I haven't explained it in this broadcast yet. We call it the coffin corner because the balls that go there, the play goes to die. Nobody's digging those, and that's exactly where you want to be hitting as an outside or right side or middle, but mostly on the pins.
Well, we talked about versatility, so any way you slice it. And Michael Schwob puts some big service pressure and gets the ace. The first one of the match for either side. And Penn State's 2 away in set 1.
We've been seeing George Mason struggle a lot on serve receive. Penn State knows not to serve their libero because he will put a dime. So they're targeting Evangelista, and it really is working, putting them up by 10 right now, 2 points to take the set.
And Penn State has been so tactical with that, with trying to identify players to target behind the serving line. They did against NJIT to a lot of great success. But Sean Harvey gets leveled by Welton.
Great play by Welton. He is just so tall, and he just gets up there. And then it's not like he's the most pressed blocker I've ever seen, but he just takes up so much space with just the fact that he is so high up there.
A sophomore, 6'8" out of Lombard, Illinois. And he's back to serve for the Patriots. Slams it to the back line. Here comes Owen Rose. Didn't get full contact, but a kill is a kill, and it's set point Penn State.
Coffin corner again. When he has that just little finesse of the wrist to put it right in that corner, that is a great swing. Again, you don't need to hit the hardest to be scoring points.
Another 3-0 run for Penn State. Reckall rises to its feet, commits the service error, though, so Mason stays alive for now.
These service errors, it is circumstantial. If you were Sean Harvey, I wouldn't worry too much about that. If it were a tighter game, you would just need to keep the ball in and live to fight another point. However, Penn State feels pretty confident in this moment.
And you always say it's better to try back line than serve it into the net.
Correct.
Or under the net.
Been there, done that.
That's not fun. Joust. Again, Rose gets a tough play. Going opposite side for Welton. Great dig from Ryan Merck. Back set. Again, Mason keeps it off the floor. Zaharev to Herbert. Extra play for Welton over the triple block. Got a good rally going. Dig from Mason, almost near our table. Penn State got to get ready. Here comes Wilson. He clears it.
A lot of grit on this George Mason side. This is what I've been wanting to see out of them all night. Putting it together towards the latter half of the first set. If this is any indication of how they're going to play for the rest of the night, we're going to have a fun one on our hands.
Back-to-back points for the Patriots. It's the 6'4" junior in Herbert, the EIVA second teamer from last year.
Wet spot on the floor.
Yep.
That's a recipe for disaster.
Yes, adds the suspense though.
Right, my heart's beating so fast right now. What's going to happen?
Cue the music.
This is such a fun match. I am loving these last couple of points here. It's so competitive.
You're right, the energy is just palpable inside
Everyone
Reckall.
on their feet.
They say it at football games here at Penn State. Students, alumni, family, and friends, they're all on their feet in Rec Hall. Herbert into the net, and that's how set one comes to an end. A 25-16 set one victory for the Nittany Lions, out-hitting the Patriots 520 to 211. Out killing them 16-7. Carolina, a lot of things going right.
You know, if you're Penn State and you are out killing a team by that much of a percentage, you are obviously doing something right. Michael Schwob has done a great job of running this offense tonight and utilizing that back row attack, which is something, again, that I mentioned earlier. I don't think George Mason was necessarily on look around here.
Yeah. There was one player, there was a video that Penn State men's volleyball socials released where someone described him as Santa Claus, and I think that's apt.
I think my favorite part of the year is when it's Halloween time and he rolls around in his Winnie the Pooh suit. It's my favorite part of being a volleyball player here.
It is very fitting. Here comes Matt Luoma. And a violation against Mason, first point, goes to Penn State.
It's a great defensive effort back there by Evangelista. Ultimately, couldn't get out of the net or just not get caught.
Yeah, and the net is going to come into factor when we've had so many out-of-system plays that have just dragged on and become chaotic.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of net violations tonight, haven't we?
The court IQ is going to have to come into play, especially for George Mason if they want to claw back after losing the first set by 9. Here comes Aiden Welton over the block. Loyola roll shots. Attempted setter dump by Zaharev. Loyola tough angle. And Rose can't keep it off the hardwood.
Herbert had Luoma's number, recognizing that a lot of the Penn State balls are going to Luoma on that right side. You have Herbert just static blocking, knowing where the ball's going to go. Shuts it down.
Luoma hitting 199 on the season. He's hitting 444 through a set and change.
Well, that'll bring up that hitting percentage, huh?
That'll do it as well.
I love the way that he is able to be so versatile with his swings. Either it's going to be deep cross court, it's going to be a tip, it's going to go down the line. You never really know where he's going to swing, and I think that causes a lot of problems for these teams in the EIVA when it comes to defending him.
And we're going to get a challenge here.
Let's see. I don't even know on what.
Yeah, courtesy of Jay Hosick and the Patriots. So early on in set 2, he's put on the challenge glasses, and it's always fun for both of us.
My favorite part. I feel so important.
Our referees tonight, William Wolf and Chad Zimmerman. Our line judges, David Atkinson and Alex Sadler.
Let's get a replay here.
And quick review. So,
what are we even calling?
It will remain a point for Penn State.
I don't even know, guys, but hey, point Penn State.
There was a challenge and a thing happened and the score stayed the same.
Yeah, don't you know?
Yeah.
What?
Something like that. So 2-1 Penn State early on in set 2. And some of the stats in the kill department, it's 18-6 in favor of Penn State. Each side is 2 blocks. And Penn State is out hitting the Patriots 43-150. Again, going off speed is the senior in Elijah Lazar.
Super rare error by Ryan Merck, but I'm also loving that off-speed shot by Lazar. Things have not necessarily been working out this set in the George Mason side. So just that off-speed shot is just the thing that could get you back into offensive rhythm.
Comes Wilson again. That time he can't find any contact.
Just long. Again, an elite swing by Wilson. Just a bit wide.
He had 10 kills in the game against Sacred Heart. Both of those games out in Connecticut going 5. Penn State being able to take care of business in both of them. And there's a powerful swing from Owen Rose, the leader in the EIVA and the nation in blocks per set.
Owen Rose with his 2nd kill of the night. We haven't really called his name a lot offensively this evening, but there's still a ton of time. But in the blocking category, he just does what he does.
Absolutely. Go back to that game against Harvard. In 3 sets, he hit 833 and had 14 blocks. That's a program record. Harvey doing the setting duties, and Luoma into the teeth of Alexander Lilly.
Alexander Lilly, again, recognizing that Penn State is trying to set Luoma. You go to the hot hand as a blocker because 90% of the time, it's going to be the correct option.
Yeah, talking with Jay Hosick, he almost says that it can sometimes be a detriment how much Alexander Lilly wants to improve because he goes, you're already one of the best blockers in the game.
Suffering from success.
It pays off, though, and that's a throwdown from Evangelista. Few Penn State side wanted to carry, but we'll play on.
I truly think you could replay that. Look at Evangelista's face as he's holding the ball and recognizing nobody's there. I'm going to throw this down. You could quite literally see the thought process in his face.
Both sides have to have great court vision. That's going to be a key to the game.
I mean, when you're at this high of a level competing to be in the NCAA tournament, you have to have that court vision. It's going to be the minute details like that that separate you from elongating your season or cutting it short here.
Especially in the EIVA, where you get the auto bid for winning the tournament, you're not going to have a chance at an at-large bid. We'll most likely go to a Big West or an MPSF team. There's Gabriel out of the middle. And then a net joust. Now put on the Penn State side.
Would like to see some people take some swings, get terminal.
Cage Gabriel tries it, and Alexander Lilly says no.
Lilly is doing such a great job. He is really heating up here, giving George Mason some confidence to go through. Up by 2 right now, trying to extend this lead.
He's feeling himself now. 3 blocks already. That leads both sides. And a service error from Evangelista, just long.
Close call. That's about a foot behind the line. That's really frustrating as a server.
So will be Wilson behind the line. 4 kills on 7 attacks, 3 errors, hitting 143. The sophomore out of Clifton Park, New York. And he targets Evangelista once more. We've seen that become a trend with the Penn State serving game. As Schwob goes up to Loloma from the midpoint over the triple block. And how many times have we said Matt Loloma and hot hands together?
And back row attack, 4. I believe it's 4, and it's going to continue to climb. They are just feeding him right now.
Deadlocked at 6 in set 2. Penn State's up 1-0. Last time these two teams played in a series, it was down in Fairfax last season at the end of the regular season. Mason clears it off of a Penn State assistant.
Whoops. That's all you could say is maybe throw your hand up and say, oh, my bad. Or just walk it off. Pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's not contact. Coach doesn't count.
Coach doesn't count. That's so funny.
Back to that series, both of the games went 5, and 7 of the 10 sets were decided by 2 points. Great save from Steph Kins. Schwob up for Loloma, looking down the line. That time can't connect.
Gonna give Kins his flowers here. He pokeyed that ball over the net. That is a great, again, IQ play, but we're gonna have a challenge here. Calling if that ball was in or out.
I think pokey's a new word in the vocabulary.
I'll explain that in a second. I want to see what we got here. You could get the replay.
So is Loloma working that far side as you see it, again, down the line. And this set, at least early on, a lot closer than what we saw in set 1.
Right, we are seeing George Mason warm up, get used to the environment here.
And something that Mark Pavlik said, talking about what makes George Mason good, is that this is a team that he says has so much talent, and also when they're able to lock in early, they are able to establish cushions that are hard to break out of.
Point Penn State, ball was in. I personally didn't have the opportunity to call it, so I don't know how legit it is, you know.
I know.
I'm totally messing with you guys. I'm really bad at this.
We're going to get a look, though. On the opposite side of Loma going down the line. And it looks close on the corner. Line judge is right there.
Yeah, right. Who am I to say he was wrong?
I'm sure you've always been gracious to the refs when you're playing.
Naturally. I've had somebody come in and visit our practice, and I didn't realize that he was a ref that I've had in the past, but I was just talking to him. He goes, "You've yelled at me before." I'm like, I am so sorry for my actions. I have zero control.
So what you're telling me is that they don't forget.
They don't forget. I forget. They don't forget.
Good for Sean Harvey. He got antenna.
It's a pretty rare error by Harvey. You usually don't see him swinging into antennas or missing out of bounds or in the net like that. It's pretty rare.
It is. Still tied at 8. Mason is hanging with the Nittany Lions more than they were in the previous frame. And we'll see the phenom middle and Alexander Lilly serving. 6'8" out of Ronkonkoma, New York. Here comes Loma, and he had wide open hardwood. Penn State back up.
Number 5 for him out of that back row attack D-ball. So effective. George Mason really just has to be able to track their hitter and know that he's back row, but he's still very much active.
Already up to 9 kills, and Matt Loma has been a guy that has stepped up in moments when Penn State's back's against the wall. Even going back to that game against Long Beach State, it was only 7 kills, but that led the team, and Michael Schwob commits the attack error.
I thought that was a tool off the block. That was just such a weird angle in which that spun off of his hand. Doesn't argue. Knows that it was just a fluke error there.
And it's also odd because both Penn State setters haven't been as aggressive as in the past. Harvey's play off it out of play. So Mason back out front.
George Mason pulling ahead here, looking to be first to 15. In games like this, you really just have to compartmentalize. Every single 5 points is just a smaller goal, make it seem less daunting.
It's a way to play it that's very effective. And what else is effective? That George Mason block. That time, it's Herbert and Lazar doing the
D-ball that has been the common theme here tonight. So people aren't able to read that it's happening, so they're not defending it.
We'll go back to play it. Merck, great save on that back line. And Herbert able to play the block to his advantage. That's a 5-0 run for George Mason.
Herbert is just really playing on the fact that Penn State's side seems a bit chaotic right now. It's not as cool, calm, and collected as we initially saw in that first set. George Mason is just coming for blood, just kicking them while they're down.
That time a cleaner receive, but a better dig from Welton. Herbert, triple block. Harvey plops it over. And getting aggressive is Zaharev, set from Schwob, off speed from Harvey. Back out of the middle was Lazar that time. And a kill for Jackson Herbert.
Awesome swing by Herbert. He sees that there is nobody there in right back able to defend that ball, and he threads it right through the block. We've got a dub sub coming in right now, which means that the right side and the setter are going to be switching out. We have Jackson Hurt and Tristan Hassell coming in and try to make a change for the Nittany Lions.
So Hassell, one of the freshman pin hitters. Jackson Hurt, the transfer setter from Grand Canyon, who did play in the series against Sacred Heart, his last true action. And again, more service pressure from the Patriots. Welton, tough angle, Rose covers. Back to Harvey, he'll go cross court.
See her really instilling that confidence in Harvey. He's had an off couple of points here in this second set, but her trying to get him back going, give him some confidence, and ultimately get him a great set to put that ball away.
So we'll see a sub as the libero Nardoni comes out. And the Patriots with a 4-point lead. And what has changed for them from set one to set two?
I truly think being in an environment like Rec Hall, especially when it's just as energized as it is right now, that could be a little bit jarring, especially in men's volleyball, when you don't typically have a ton of fans in the gym. So being used to the energy and getting climatized to everything, that is definitely the key to their success right now.
That won't be, though. Lazar swings it into the net, so Penn State gets 1 point back.
Trying to climb back after a 3-point deficit. This is a point in the match where it matters most.
So put Hassell to serve. He commits the error.
Right into middle of the net. If you're Penn State, this is a circumstantial thing where you cannot be missing serves like that into the middle of the net at this point. You're trying to climb back. You're just giving free points to George Mason, who's going to take it and run with it.
And Mark Pavlik told us when we were speaking to him this week is that one of his main lessons to freshmen coming in is that points are at a premium. It's not high school where you're just the best athlete and can beat out most, but Eliza Lazar beats out her and Hassell.
Lazar, on a joust like that, you want to be the second one up. You have the most momentum and you have the most strength. Lazar just got right there, beat Jackson Hur. It's a great play.
Not even Tristan Hassell's soccer-style dig could save it. Herbert with a blast, 61 miles an hour per the radar gun. Hassell goes into a double roof. Lazar, again, wins out.
Hassell attempting to run that D-ball like Luoma has been. Not used to that triple block in front of him. Swings right into the middle of it. If you're a hitter, you have to recognize that the block is in front of you for a reason. You have to use it to your advantage.
Lazar coming off a 5-block game against Princeton, that 5-setter. Merck up for Harvey. Welton backs up the triple block. Net joust kept up. Dig from Wilson. Harvey with a powerful swing, but he missed it.
Wide. Sean Harvey struggling tonight for the Nittany Lions. Coach Pavlik going to call a timeout here, talk over how to...
When George Mason and Penn State come together.
Again, the energy in Rec Hall is just so great. Both teams feeding off of it, not necessarily at the same time.
Ebbs and flows. Harvey able to get back on the kill board, though.
Harvey looking right to his team after that kill, saying, thank you for having my back in that situation. Hopefully getting a little bit warmer to climb back from a 6-point deficit.
The 8th kill on his 17th attack. Penn State has utilized the arms a lot more. 51 swings to Mason's 37. Evangelista with a rocket.
What a swing by Evangelista. He recognizes that Rose is late to close the block to her, sees that seam, and just goes full go.
And Jay Hosick was talking with Jasenia earlier this week and said that Robert Evangelista, one of the leaders of this team, just embodying what it means to truly get better every day. Float serve from Lazar. And there's Tristan Hassell, first kill for the freshman from Toronto on the night.
He had a sliver of line in front of him, so small you could barely see it, but he found it, and that is a great swing coming off of that D-ball.
Mark Pavlik praised Hassell for being such a physical attacker, and he has shown that time and time again as he's been placed in the starting lineup.
He really has just come into his own here as a freshman. Just so much confidence and fire that he brings on the court for the Nittany Lions.
Play at the net, and Bennett Wilson will win it that time.
Really smart play. Sees that there is no right back there and also no right front defender there to play defense. Just puts it right over the net. Sometimes
Spend our Friday night with us here on Big Town Plus, and Penn State's got one of their best servers behind the line in Owen Rose, who is third in the EIVA in service aces, 29 to his name on the 2026 campaign. Looking for the center dump was Zaharev.
Feel like that was really, really close. Also, I have a wall blocking me, so I can't really see. So super confident that that was going out. If that would have dropped in, I would have laughed.
Yeah, and I'm glad that wall is there because I don't have your reflexes, clearly.
Guys, I've gotten hit 3 times so far today just during warm-ups, so.
Yeah, we had that cool one against NJIT where you
I dodged it. Matrix.
Yeah. Is that going on the reel?
It should.
It should. Just for style points.
Broadcaster and reflexes.
Exactly. That's going on the game film. 4-point lead for the Patriots. Here comes Aiden Welton. Another attack error Penn State will gladly take.
Missing it again a bit long. As I've talked about, circumstance matters, and this is the point. George Mason trying to close this out and take this to a 4th set. You have to be keeping those balls in.
Jay Hosick does have one more timeout. Penn State has none. And Rose gets the ace. Number 30 on the season.
Right, exactly. Having this rec hall advantage means everything to this Penn State team. If you could keep playing here longer in your comfort zone, that's the stuff that's going to carry you the farthest into the post.
Mason gets 1 point back out of the Owen Rose service error. It says he got an ace on that run. You're going to take it. The setter Zaharev serving, the senior from Bulgaria. Jackson Herr up for Tristan Hassell. And Nardoni's going to run out of touches.
Again, that back row attack has been the thing that we've been calling the most from that right side for Penn State. A little bit George Mason, but again, another kill. I believe that's 8 total from that zone.
And having Jackson Herr in as the setter, Mark Pavlik says having 2 setters is like a security blanket, just knowing that in a situation you could switch out between her and Schroeb and you're going to have a good setter on the court.
It is super important to have that depth in the setter position.
There's Aiden Welton looking to go down the line, some deliberation. And looks like we might get a challenge.
A replay?
Wow.
Didn't see that one coming. Everybody's arguing. So much excitement.
Yeah, we're getting chippy. I
My
know it's your favorite. I know. This is why you do this.
Exactly. To watch other people argue and me not have to be involved.
It's great when it's not you. It's
right.
involved.
I love it. I was just talking about this. I love drama when I have absolutely nothing to do with it.
Volleyball is theater.
Volleyball truly is theater, and it's
really
nice
is.
to be on the other side of this for once, not getting into arguments myself. And it looks like George Mason's point, arguing one. Now we have Jackson Herr going up and arguing with the ref again.
Going back and forth. We've truly seen it all. We're not even done with set 2 yet.
Long night. Did we tell you guys that we were going to have an exciting game or what?
Especially at this point where you're coming down the wire in set 2, Penn State trying to mount a comeback. That's an obstacle. That's a roadblock. Down 3. Mason just 4 away. Make it a 2-point game.
Yeah, again, we're going to talk about some circumstantial service errors. This gives Penn State momentum, the ability to serve in a really tough rotation here.
And Bennett Wilson serving for the Nittany Lions. Here comes a big swing. Jackson Herbert going against Hassell.
Herbert just got up there and saw Hassell's arms were not necessarily pressed over the net, just a little bit too high, which means it's a little bit too loose to have a disciplined block. Uses it to his advantage. Great tool, great hard-driven swing. You see Hassell grabbing his arm like that hurt. Because again, that was a really hard swing.
Yeah, it's a swing against one arm. Yeah, you're going to be feeling that in the morning.
Or right now.
That too. Coming into the game is Derek Nagel. He was the one serving for the Patriots. Zaharev, the setter, going to take the swing. Harvey looking to go over the block. Back row for Evangelista. Punch up from her, keeps it in play. Joust at the net, and it's won by Aiden Welton. And a much-needed point for Mason.
Bodies flying. That is a great dig by her. Ultimately, George Mason takes advantage of the fact that there is not a setter in the play. We're going to make everybody else play some defense here. Walks away with the point. A lot of scramble plays.
The ground is shaking here at Rec Hall.
Right.
People are flying everywhere. And out of the middle, Gage Gabriel gets it done.
Gabriel looking to put this team on his back, and this is somebody that you do not want to keep behind the service line. He is super aggressive, a really nice topspin serve. Make George Mason play a bit here.
3-point game. Patriots 2 away from evening the match. And blocked down by Owen Rose.
Offensive mindedness.
Absolutely.
Owen Rose, synonymous. Again, Gage Gabriel, don't let him heat up behind there. That technically counts as an ace too, or an assist. Would you count that as an assist?
I guess so.
Yeah. Really thinking here.
We'll make you think. This is educational. Here comes Jackson Herbert, but does not get it in. It's a 1-point game.
So aggressive down that line. Rec Hall getting loud. High energy on the court. People are doing stare downs. It's my favorite portion of the game when that begins. We are just getting started.
Talk about versatility. We've seen how great Owen Rose has been from behind the line. His fellow middle and Gabriel. He will send it into the net off speed, and it's set point, George Mason.
As a volleyball player, all I could say is, shoot, that sucks. Tough. Happens to the best of us. I believe that was 35 miles per hour.
Here comes Welton. And Rose can't get it down, and George Mason takes a 25-22 set.
That's how it is.
Yeah. So Michael Schwob serving will get the party started in set 3. And getting the scoring started in set 3 is Eliza Lazar for the Patriots.
Switching back to the original rotation for setter and right side with Schwob and Luoma. George Mason getting that first kill, starting the momentum early.
Comes Wilson off the tape. A free ball from Herbert. Had to readjust. Rose backed up by Harvey. Again, some push play, both sides. And rainbowing it over the back line is Jackson Herbert, point Penn State.
Not the smartest play I've seen all night. Again, it happens. You know, we've seen balls served under the net. We've seen that. And there's going to be more.
It's going to be
How
much
exciting.
more.
What's the next one that's going to make us go, huh?
I don't know, but that's the fun of it.
Right. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, we still got 2 more sets at minimum to go, guys. Lazar again. Opposite side, Aiden Welton. Running up to Luoma, he got the block. Now it's Mason's turn to set up, and Welton gonna beat Michael Schwob. An absolute bullet from Aiden Welton.
Okay, but also we're going to talk about Kins in the libero position. That is a clean set. If you can hit a ball as well off of your libero as you can your setter, you are doing something right as a program. I love the usage of his hands in that situation.
And of course, for George Mason, it's that two libero system that is so different and that they've been able to utilize to good effect because each libero does something different. Matt Luoma getting the kill, but just take us through that. How do you utilize a two libero system to the best of the team's ability?
Well, you just really have to play to their strengths. If you have one that's just legit on serve receive and the other one is a little bit better at covering more ground in a faster amount of time, why not use it?
According to Jay Hosick, Robbie Nardoni, more vocal, quicker reflexes. Steph Kins a better job of keeping the Patriots in system. And a good job of keeping the Patriots in this game is Robert Evangelista with that kill.
Gabriel late to close the block. Evangelista recognizes that and just cranks it cross court with one blocker in front of him.
Lazar with the off-speed serve. Gabriel going out of the middle. And who else but Alexander Lilly?
Lilly getting a little chippy here. We see some stare downs. George Mason up by 2, trying to get first to 5 and establish that dominance early in this third set.
Lazar again, almost some miscommunication on the back line. And the block landed off of Wilson. So Mason is the first to 5.
You got the bench going crazy. You got people pointing and saying that was in, looking at Wilson while he's on the ground. A lot of confidence.
Rec Hall's getting rowdy.
It's a party here tonight.
That's a service error. That's going to quell the momentum. I know you're happy.
How exciting.
Oh, boy. Our favorite in service errors.
You know me so well.
Ends a 3-0 run for the Patriots. Service errors 10 for Penn State, 8 for Mason, 9 for Mason, if anyone's counting. I know Caroline is.
Yep.
There's another one.
My skin is crawling. Next.
6-3. George Mason on top of Penn State. Winner of this set goes up 2-1 in the match. But as both teams have shown throughout their time playing against each other and playing this season, that doesn't really mean anything. Matt Luoma, great dig from Nardoni. Opposite side for Welton, rejected by Wilson. Back to Evangelista, that block out of play.
Nardoni doing what he does best and covering so much of the court in such a quick time. He is on the floor in the middle, picking up that campfire shot, and just like that, he is back digging a ball straight down the line. Great showing by him in that match.
The game of chess at the net has been so interesting to watch from both sides. And another great dig by the libero Nardoni. That time he was going against Gage Gabriel. They'll go back to Luoma. That time they connect.
Yeah, there is so much heat being thrown around on the court right now. It's just a matter of who can get in front of the ball and cut it off quick enough to make a dig and try to get their heat on their own side.
I'm sweating. There's a lot of heat.
This is just so exciting.
You're having a blast. I'm having a blast.
I'm truly smiling, which is something people rarely see me do.
Zaharev up for Evangelista. Roll shot dug by Merck. Harvey, tough angle. Backed up by Herbert. Welton was going into the block. They'll try it again with Evangelista. Overpass from Luoma. We keep going, not for long. And what a smack by Alexander Lilly.
This is incredible volleyball on the George Mason side. You would never guess that they dropped that first set with the way that they are playing right now. Almost 2 points to 10, up on Penn State by 4. Some intensity.
Penn State with a capital I. Out of the middle. There's Gage Gabriel.
Swing for swing. We are seeing people pull out their whole arsenal. We have not seen a lot of balls tipped in this set, and that's just a testament to the fact that it's a competition. People are trying to swing as hard as they can, and ultimately this is hosting rights.
It is. Number 1 seed on the line. Mason's got to win both games this weekend. Here comes Aiden Welton. It's cleared.
A little bit long. If you're Penn State, you can breathe a sigh of relief and just say, all right, 1 point to close this gap. What do we do now to take advantage of this?
8-6. Mason on top in set number 3. Again off speed Evangelista. Mixing up the tempo, it doesn't matter for this Patriot offense.
Evangelista with the tip, again, a little bit different than the full go swings we've been seeing in this set. Recognizes that Penn State is back on their heels, ready for a hard-driven ball. Making a move forward wasn't in Penn State's cards.
Loyola down the line.
A lot of heat out of that back row attack. I am loving that swing down the line. So much range. Again, we talk about that with Loyola, in that you just never know where he is going to swing, but he sees that gap in between the outside of the blocker's hand and the pin, and it's wraps.
Not afraid to go cross court, not afraid to attack a blocker, not afraid to go down the line.
Truly fearless attacker.
That's what you need, especially in these moments where Penn State is down. Roll shot from Herbert. Up for Harvey, and beats Evangelista on the back row.
Nice swing by Harvey. Goes over the top of the block.
And Sean Harvey having surgery in June, and Mark Pavlik talked about him having a rep deficit, but he says that now in this stretch, truly he's able to play, quote, without thinking about knees or where he's landing.
You know, it's really hard when you come back from an injury and trying to train your body again to be able to do things, because a lot of the time it's your mind that's a blocker, because you're like, subconsciously, am I still hurt? Am I going to tweak it? You're playing with fear. But being able to break through that, and the fact that Sean Harvey's been able to put on a showing like he has, it's a sign of a great player.
Comes Welton, and he's got the kill. So Mason first to 10, but going back to that point, is it just more of a rep thing, as Mark Pavlik said, or is it something a bit more?
I truly think it's a mental thing. When you come back from injury, you've been in the game long enough if you're playing at this level to where you know what you're doing. All your training's not going to go away, but your mind is going to be the thing that convinces you can't.
Harvey swing dug out. And Wilson has to play it awkwardly. Chance for the Patriots. Herbert. The block is high. Here's Loyola. Again, we talk about range. Matt Loyola showing it off. Tied at 10.
Back row, right side, outside. You name it, he's there, and he's gonna kill the ball.
Yeah, we've talked with a lot of coaches this year, and they said just sometimes you have a Penn State team that has the star player and then the role players around it. This year, a lot of coaches have talked about Penn State has so much depth. There's a center dump from Zaharev, though.
We've been waiting to see that all night. Neither setter has gotten that offensive, but Zaharev putting his name on the board. 11-9, George Mason.
And that's a way to throw your hat into the ring, get in on the fun as well when you have an aggressive setter like that.
Yeah, it's the most exciting part.
Oh, yeah.
Offense is fun. Sometimes you just want to get a part of the action.
Sometimes I feel like you have that extra hitter when you have a setter that's not afraid to take a swing. That one really psyching out the front line. For Zaharev, 4 years at George Mason, but his first as a primary starter. Say it again, Matt Loyola.
Matt Loyola, we have called his name so many times tonight. 14 kills in 3 sets. This is shaping up to potentially be a career night for him.
Yeah, had a season high of 17 against Hawai'i in that insane 4-setter. I'm getting similar vibes to that game, I will say.
I know. I was actually just thinking that. 15, he's crawling up there. I think he's going to beat it. I hope so, because there's a lot of game left to play. Can't have him shutting down now.
I don't know. I might pass out if we have another 38-36 set. The way this game's going, though.
That was truly insane. My water bottle ran out, guys. It was a long time.
Yeah. So after the service error by Owen Rose, Mason back up 1. And it will be Lazar back to serve, who was one of the slower speed servers, but it's been effective. Gabriel And then a dump into the net by Evangelista. Tough contact on both sides.
Evangelista looking like he doesn't know where he's at on the court. He probably thought he was a bit tighter and higher up there to put that ball down, but really told that middle of the net who's boss.
A creature of habit, because we've seen a lot of the times of Evangelista recognizing in the air, hey, I can set it. I have a free range. And he gets it right back, though.
Great swing by Lily. Again, it's not the hardest swing that we've seen all night from him, but you don't need to be swinging that hard, especially when you're that high up there and have that much range.
And a 67-mile-an-hour blast into the stands ties it at 13 from Zaharev.
You gotta watch your head.
Yeah, there's a lot of people back there. It can get sketchy. I've been up there.
Dangerous. There's no safe corner in this gym.
There is not. Wilson just squeaks it over the net. Opposite side for Welton. Swing from Sean Harvey. Zaharev up for Lily. And he gets rejected.
Wow, what a setup. You have George Mason thinking that might have gone over. Everybody's celebrating. Kind of confused as to what happened there. Ultimately, great block by Penn State.
Second of the afternoon for Sean Harvey. But Mason has been leading the way in that department, 9-3.
9-3.
The blocking for Mason. Alexander Lilly, he's one of 5 players in the EIVA that averages a block per set or more.
That was not on my bingo card for George Mason tonight against the #1 blocking team in the IVA.
Yeah, it's been wild to see best on best, no matter where you look.
Again, this is some of the most elite volleyball we've seen all season, definitely since Hawai'i came into the building.
And Wilson serves. Evangelista. That block, though, out of play.
What a swing. When you are coming up that hot, swinging on the right side, you have to turn your entire body to make sure you tool that ball out of bounds. That is a conscious decision you have to make as an opposite.
He's swinging it back towards the middle. You got to adjust that midair. Evangelista will serve it long, so 1-point lead for Penn State. And we've hit
with Dave Shondell. What a name.
And Gabriel commits the service error, so 15-all in set 3. Everyone knows everybody, and everyone knows Mark Pavlik.
Everyone knows Mark Pavlik. You have both teams with both timeouts left, waiting to see who pulls the trigger first.
It's been that neck and neck. It really hasn't needed to come into effect. And Matt Luoma, a rare attack error in this one.
Just a bit long. Aggressive swing, aiming for the corner. Misses it by a good amount. Can appreciate the effort.
It was almost counterintuitive the way there was no one for Luoma to get to. And there's a huge hack from Aiden Welton.
Oh, how I love a nice overpass swing. We've seen a lot of soft touches on the overpass. That's the first big-time swing we've seen on that. All right, Welton.
His 8th kill and a 2-point lead for Mason. Aiden Welton, interesting story, recruited by Jay Hossack as an outside hitter, then had an injury to Liam French early in the season, and they needed someone to serve receive it outside. Didn't think Welton was up to it at the moment, but now has blossomed as the opposite for the Patriots, and you can see why, being a huge impact player.
Oh, for sure. The ability to be versatile and switch from the outside to the right side and be a true just pin hitter, that's everything.
Another swing from Mason that finds the hardwood. But for you, what was that like? As you have the experience of playing both positions, how does that transition work?
You know, it's just an angles game. What we were talking about earlier, the approach angle in which you come and hit the volleyball is different on both sides, but it's really the same thing with the wrist. It takes a little bit getting used to. One of them is a lot more serve-receive oriented than the end of the season, and of course it schedules out to where this is a situation.
It's strategic because you know you're getting a fun one every single time. And there's a swing from Jackson Herbert.
Love that swing as an outside. Again, when the block is in front of you and just as disciplined as Penn State's, you have to know how to utilize it to your advantage and just play those games.
Jackson Herbert, a player with 3 games with 10 kills and also 6 games hitting triple zeros or less. At the moment hitting .062, but has 5 kills and 3 blocks.
That's still an effective player for George Mason. Although the numbers don't necessarily add up to it, the energy on the court that he brings is really tangible.
Sean Harvey tickles the tape. Great dig from Ryan Merck. Tough play and popped backwards by Zaharev. Merck in a platform it. Free ball attempt from Loyola. Tried to find the soft spot. Running up is Welton over the triple block. Wilson clears everything.
Just wide. It's the same thing that we saw from Loyola on the opposite side. Exact same thing, just mirrored. These are the points where you really just have to tone it in and be terminal.
Patriots cling to a 1-point lead. Back row for Harvey. Once again, Robbie Nardoni is there. Evangelista over to the block, but Harvey was there for the save. And net joust won by the... Did you expect anything different?
I was expecting a very confident team coming out of that first set, and I am absolutely loving it. Punches are being thrown, so intense. Great volleyball.
Figurative punches.
Right,
Make that clear.
Of course.
And another attack error from Loyola, so now a 3-point lead for the Patriots.
A lot of hitting errors towards the latter half of this set. I stated before the timeout, you really have to rein those in to give yourself a fighting chance to take this set and not go to 5.
19 attack errors for Penn State, 13 for George Mason. They're on a 3-0 scoring run. And there's an ace from Jackson Herbert.
George Mason firing on all cylinders right now. Everybody is locked in. It's really important.
So out of the timeout, Herbert behind the line, 4-0 run for Mason, and coming off a service ace. They'll trade it for a service error. So Patriots 3 away and up 3 on Penn State. It'd be a 2-1 match lead if they are able to hold on.
Really hard point to come back from if you're Penn State.
See if any situational serve comes in. That time it's in play. Evangelista on the roll shot. Schrob up for Sean Harvey. And another great dig from the Patriot defense. Back set, Loyola. Doesn't matter what speed, he'll get connection.
A little bit of an off-speed shot from the right side. It's early in a game, and men's volleyball is almost unheard of.
Herbert going to take a swing from the midpoint. And wisely getting out of the way is Michael Schwob.
That's the court awareness. When you see a ball coming out your head, your first instinct might be to throw your hands up and protect yourself. But if you recognize that this might be out of bounds, smart to just duck and hope that you're correct.
Play at the net. Out of the middle is Welton. Penn State keeps it alive. Wilson plays it safe. Running up is Welton, and he's blocked. Gage Gabriel and Bennett Wilson. It's a 1-point game.
Bennett Wilson at the exact right place at the exact right time. Little static block move. Not too big. Boom.
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 That just happened. It's tied at 22. And a 3-0 run for Penn State. Talk about bouncing back. That's how you do it. Out of the timeout. Late in the game, making your adjustments.
Everybody leaning forward in their seats around here in Rec Hall, seeing how this is going to play out with the service error. Untimely.
Both sides now have 14 service errors. But Mason also has a 1-point lead. And coming into the game is the depth outside hitter in Michael Schofield, 6'7" from Illinois, making his 11th appearance this season in George Mason's 28th contest, and it will be a service error.
Back-to-back service errors If you're Penn State, you got to say thank you for making that just to even the playing field here.
So sub immediately out for him and Lazar going to the bench. It's out of 23. And that Loyola survey. 16 kills. And it'll be set point George Mason.
Wow.
Talked about situational. That's the opposite.
This is the quintessential moment of situational serving. Like, this is everything that I've been talking about.
Set point for the Patriots. Just skimming the twine. Harvey back row. Did he get it in? He did not. And a 25-23 set 3 victory for George Mason.
Wow. I wouldn't believe you if you had just told me that. This is just some incredible showing by George Mason.
And that time an overpass. I think the Penn State side was holding their breath on that one, but they got the point.
I was too. Just long. I can corroborate it. If there's a challenge, don't worry. Put me out there. I'll tell them.
Yeah, that time you got it right.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a rarity. I feel really good when I do it.
It really boosts the ego.
Yeah, as if it isn't big enough already.
Off speed from Herbert. Opposite side, Aiden Welton. Another dig courtesy of Evangelista. Through the triple block is Jackson Herbert. Miscommunication. Loyola falls down. Penn State able to get ready, and Sean Harvey finds some open wood.
So look at that George Mason defense. If we get a replay there, they are crashing forward, fully expecting Harvey to tip and roll that ball. Look at everybody in the back row coming forward. Full side of the court is wide open for him to have his way.
The setter Schwob, who led the team in aces last year. And he gets one.
Did you just speak that into existence?
That was freaky.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
I love that serve out of Schwob. Penn State needs a momentum builder like that.
You stack days, you stack points. The 2025 EIVA Tournament MVP. Of course, last year, Penn State having to go on the road to Princeton to take the tournament title. And an awkward play from Bennett Wilson, and he goes, hey, if it works, it works.
This is time for George Mason to really just get in the huddle, settle down, because points like that, as a volleyball player, and I know coaches are cringing at that, the miscommunications in those circumstances, that is unacceptable. They really just got to lock it in, get some points on the board.
Yeah, that's how you get caught flat-footed, when both sides are committing errors, are being a bit not as clean, and then one team gets their act together and you're caught down 4-1.
Right, you really just have to climb, climb, climb. You have drills like this in practice that are built for circumstances such as this moment. Got to rely on your training.
Mark Pavlik has always told us that experience in-game cannot be manufactured. It's a big difference, and there's a nasty roof from Owen Rose and Sean Harvey.
Owen Rose doing Owen Rose things. That is a great block by him. Again, he is just showing why he is Defensive Player of the Week for the EIVA with his blocking skill.
The common theme of every coach we talk to playing Penn State is you got to watch out for the middles, and all reliable is Gage Gabriel and Owen Rose. But George Mason, both of their points coming off of Nittany Lions service errors.
Time to settle down, walk back to the service line if you are Lazar. Got to keep this in.
Lazar does keep it in. Here comes Wilson, he's rejected. That time by the setter Zaharev. Talk about versatility.
I mean, we have seen him in the kill category, we've seen him in the assist category, the digging category. He leads the team in digs, which I think is an interesting statistic.
It is wild. Of course, you have 2 libero system, but you have 3 players on George Mason that have more digs than their leading libero.
And I think that's a testament to the amount of respect that teams have for the George Mason liberos by not hitting to them because they know that they're going to dig it.
And Owen Rose wins the net joust. Let's talk about that net play just for both sides. just so fascinating to watch.
Right. The ability to recognize when the ball is tight and know what to do with it and not freak out is very important.
And we are getting a challenge for a touch by Jay Hossack.
See if there was on that.
Early on in set 4. Going against the Owen Rose kill.
Let's see what we got going on here, if we can get a replay.
If it is reversed, it would be a 1-point game. Penn State would still be up. But
Right.
as Pavlik always says, points are a premium, and this game has shown why.
Points definitely are a premium. I know it sounds so obvious right now, but saying it's a 1-point deficit to a 3-point deficit, that is everything. I talk about the momentum that is needed to be built early in these sets. This is what George Mason is trying to do with that challenge. That just shows the faith that the coaching staff has in their team.
Especially since it's hard to break the dam at times. You want anything to shift momentum in your favor.
Talking it over, scrutinizing this one pretty hard.
This is the longest review we've had.
Yeah, they have been pretty quick so far this night.
Here's a look.
Let's see.
So I guess Mason's challenging that there was no touch.
Yeah, looking to see. There's a lot going on. Hard to get a good view there.
Looks like the call is being relayed right now. Very close, trying to see if maybe it was a Rose redirect rather than off of an arm. The call will stand.
I was wrong. Sue me. Can't get everything right all the time, right?
Yeah. It's hard being the best.
God, so hard being perfect in every category.
Yes. Caroline Jarovicius is practically perfect in every way.
Oh,
That's
Jack.
the Mary Poppins quote.
Jack.
And Welton is going to beat Michael Schwob.
See, that's a similar swing to the one that we've seen error a couple times in that deep corner. It just happened to tag Schwob just in time. What a lucky play. Look back at this.
He's backing off, like moving off his back foot as well.
Right, trying
Really
to gauge
impressive.
the distance between him and the ball.
And Sean Harvey able to get it on the hardwood.
Sean Harvey with that back row attack. We haven't seen that since the first set when we saw Schwob set those two successful bicks, baiting the middle. I'm liking that we're getting that involved again.
Harvey, 11 kills on 28 attacks, just one of 4 players hitting above triple zeros for Penn State. Mason has 5 of them in the positives. Running up Evangelista, got hands off the block, but Loyola gets the dig. Wilson gets it spat back to him, and now he'll take another swing. He's going to go over the triple block. The opposite side is Welton will get the kill, and Caroline, you looked like you were unhappy with that play.
I just don't know if that was the smartest decision by Wilson, rather than just gathering and getting a good approach and getting your feet there. Because when you give a free ball like that against a good team like George Mason, they're going to take it and they're going to shove it down your throat if you're Penn State.
Especially if you're George Mason, you are first in the EIVA in points per set and kills per set.
You can't play with a team like that by sending free balls.
In this situation as well.
Correct.
Another one from Loyola. And another kill, courtesy of Alexander Lilly.
Yep, this is the exact same thing that I just talked about, just rinse and repeat. You cannot be sending free balls. I understand it is a smart play for the circumstance if you really just can't get your feet there, but you have to make them a little bit more aggressive. Send it into the deep corner, send it to the setter so somebody out of system has to set. Wasn't the most optimal play for Penn State to try to capitalize and get some points.
So it seems we both have crystal balls here on our broadcasting table.
Right.
And that's a shove through from Wilson. That time gets the kill.
See, I am okay with that because that's an aggressive power tip. It's not like it was going right over the block with a little bit of loop. He was aiming for something specifically. You could see it, recognizing, looking and seeing what's in front of him. Boom, makes the center play defense.
2-point game, Penn State up. So got to have it set for the Nittany Lions. A service error by Bennett Wilson after the kill.
Into the net, George Mason looking to close the 1-point deficit. Coming back into this game, they were down by 3. They don't care. They're coming to fight.
Tough play. Loyola gets to it. Harvey over the triple block and able to convert.
I love that set. I love the confidence that Loyola has in his platform to send that ball to the outside. Usually he's the cleat-up hitter, but trusting Harvey enough to swing high hands and convert on an out-of-system play like that, it's a lot of trust.
And we'll get another cleanup by the grounds crew here. Always important.
Always.
And the unsung heroes.
Correct.
Truly.
Trip over them a couple of times if you're chasing down a ball. Trip over a lot of people if you're chasing over a ball.
This is Gabriel serving. 3 kills, 3 blocks. In the ace category, it's 3-1 in favor of Penn State. And that time it's clean. Lazar out of the middle. Going horizontal to the floor is Wilson. And State's got to get back in group. Schroeb up for Harvey, has to back up for it. Lands out of play.
Harvey needing to adjust midair on that set, overruns it a bit, sees that he's too far in front of it to get an effective swing, so he jumps back midair, make that make sense physically, but he does it.
You want to talk about the notion that sometimes East Coast volleyball is described as street ball? That's one of those plays.
Oh, for sure. I do love the style of East Coast volleyball. It is a lot more gritty.
Yeah, Lazar shoves it through. And I feel like this game has found that happy medium where we've had some gritty, sloppy games here, but also just the all-out, pin hitter battle of Penn State Hawai'i. This has found that happy medium.
I do think this is one of the more elite games that both teams have had all season.
I mean, you look back to the EIVA championship game last year, or 2 years ago, where it was the same way, where the rallies were extended. It was that mixture of both.
Right. I mean, both teams just know each other so well, especially when you've played each other this much, that you understand the styles and therefore you're able to defend each other better or produce offensively.
Yeah, in the last 11 seasons, Penn State and George Mason have played 24 times.
11 seasons.
11 seasons.
24 times.
Since Jay Hossack has been the head coach of the Patriots.
Right. You get to know a team pretty well when that's the case.
And even Hossack told us, as being a former Penn State assistant, you do have a few tricks up your sleeve of knowing what Mark Pavlik likes to do at times with his squad. And Loyola, again, medium speed. It's weird to see how every type of kill has been connecting at some point.
Right. You see a chop shot like that down the line. It's not like he has his entire shoulders and torque from his core going into it. It's more just wrist with that ball. A lot of finesse.
Both sides trying to finesse each other. Herbert looking to go down the line. That time, no.
Just a bit wide. Penn State looking to get first to 15. George Mason's just trying to get to 10 in the first place.
Yeah, Herbert now back in the negatives hitting. And a violation against Penn State.
Net violation. We've seen that a couple times, not often in this set, or I believe this is the first one in this set.
Yeah, that was very early on when both sides were trying to put the feelers out. This time, much more established, but do get the net call.
More than normal.
Oh, yeah. Here's Loyola. Overpass recycled. Schroeb gets set. Harvey back row. There's a powerful swing.